our internet, and welcome back to Geeky Ent. And on this episode, you can see there is no split screen. We are here live.
We are.
And we are going to be discussing The Circle. Now, The Circle... Allegedly, The Circle. The Circle is basically a show that's on Netflix, and it became a hit phenomenon. I had no idea that it was out on New Year's Day, I believe. Binged it all, and it was one of those shows that I actually didn't want to watch, but it was one of those shows where I started watching it and I was like, okay, I gotta see who wins this thing and what's going on with it. So, Mary, what were your thoughts on The Circle? What do you think about it? What is it exactly for those people that don't know?
Okay, so The Circle, like, Danny said, is a show that's on Netflix. Really cool show, in my opinion. But let's just get down to, I guess, the whole I promise I can talk. Summarization, nitty gritty of it. So The Circle is pretty much kind of like a reality TV based show, but is based off of social media. So you have originally 8 people. They're all in little different, like, mini apartment kind of units. These people are not face to face. They only communicate with each other via The Circle, which is their internet network.
Chat system, pretty much. Yep.
And from there, you have they're pretty much IMing each other. There's group chats. They have different activities. People are just obviously sliding into DMs because that's what we do.
Direct messages for those old timers. Yep, like myself. Yep.
Oh, don't act like no one's ever slid into your DM.
Nope.
I've done it a couple of times.
Direct message, yeah. But yeah, DM sliding in.
But anywho, we have just a group of people just pretty much seeing how these people react on social media. Just as we have our influencers. We even have people that are totally against social media. I think social media is the devil, and they're just in the game just to prove that social media is virtually bad and it's not as great as everyone thinks it is.
So yeah, basically, The Circle is, like Mary was mentioning, the bottom line is it's a contestant game show. Now, there are originally 8 contestants, and when one got eliminated, more people started coming in, and I started to think to myself, this show will never end. Eventually it did. But also to chime back in, there are different contestants that view social media in different perspectives. Some people think that it prohibits people from actually meeting each other in real life. Some people think it actually helps. But then there are some people that portray a different lifestyle online, and they think that they can become somebody else that they're not, which is also known as a catfish. So those that don't know, a catfish is basically somebody who will put up a profile online, whether it's a dating site or Facebook, whatever it is, and it's got pictures of something that they're not. So they're just pretending to be somebody else. And in the case of The Circle, they're using it to actually become the winner of $100,000. So, I mean, overall, it's an eye-opening experience. There are different contestants that you'll fall in love with, essentially. One fan favorite, I know your fan favorite is...
Shooby.
The Shoobster, since everybody calls him Shooby. Yeah, Shoobomb. He was one of the fan favorites. There was a lot of different people on there.
Well, let me ask you this, Danny. Out of all of the different personalities, just coming in or just with social media, period, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a social media enthusiast? Do you see yourself as someone that thinks that social media is the devil? Or are you in between? Or is there something else? Out of the box.
It's only the devil when it consumes your whole life. I see a lot of people living every single second on social media, whether it be your Instagram, your Twitters, whatnot, and they are completely consumed by it. All these Instagram influencers, I guess you can call them, who live their life and their financial life. Essentially, it's their job to become like this Instagram model and all that stuff, where it's not quite a fad, but it's become something that's not. It's a social norm, I guess you can call it. Now, in terms of it being the devil, like I said, it's only when it consumes your whole life. Me personally, I find it to be okay. I'm very protective about it though, because a lot of people put information about themselves online where anybody can find out anything about anything. For those that were going to chime in also on Netflix, it's if you don't know what I mean by that, just go ahead and watch the show You by Netflix, and that's exactly what I mean by people putting on too much information to try and get some information on people and all that stuff. So when it comes to that, I'm kind of in between. Just because I use it just, keep in contact with, lost people, old friends and all that stuff. It's a good system for that. But in terms of like getting information to take advantage of certain situations, no, that's where you should be able to do it in real life and all that stuff. So it's kind of an eye-opening experience though, because when it comes to interacting with people online, like this is going to be like a video like right now Mary and I are in real life, face to face, and we're interacting with this. But typically, a lot of people interact via just a chat system, a text message, and that whole concept of the show was actually going ahead and building relationships with the people in your building, but you don't know who they really are because you've only seen a photo, and you've only seen a small profile. With me, I'm a natural doubter sometimes, and I'm thinking, is this person really this person? This is like the situations where if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And certain situations arise where I kind of just like contradict things and stuff and think a little bit 5 steps ahead. But it's kind of an experience where they came together and played some games, and like you mentioned, the influencers. Those two people are basically at the end of every episode or every week. I don't know how they did it, but there are 2 influencers who can influence the decision on who they're going to go ahead and eliminate that week or eliminate or something like that. Then the kicker is that person that gets eliminated gets to go to one room, and I find that pretty funny. And there's some surprises and all that stuff, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's a game show, and 100K is on the line, and yeah, that's pretty much how I see it. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to be giving out any spoilers here on this episode, but I just do know, like, with the context of human interaction, it's become a norm to see people texting and chatting versus just calling somebody else on the phone, and that kind of what I was thinking through this whole experience of The Circle, which I finished in, I think it was like 2 days, and then Netflix said, oh, the final episodes will be coming out soon, but I thought it was going to be 1 episode, but then the last 3 episodes were released on a Wednesday, and I finished them up because, like I said, it was one of those shows where you just keep watching and watching, don't know why you're watching it, but you're watching.
You just want to see what's next.
Yeah, because I'm not one for reality TV shows and stuff like that, but I watched this just because of like how true it is in the world today, how they can take a concept of social media and non-human interaction and twist it on its face and say, this is what's going to happen. So I found that pretty cool about that. Do you have any like final thoughts or anything about The Circle, or what would you tell somebody who hasn't seen The Circle? How would you like tell them why they should watch it, or if they should even care about it?
Well, I have pretty much told people to watch it because, like I said, I think that it is a really interesting show, especially when you look at just the whole social experiment of everything. You have, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I said, you just have people, and it just shows you, like I mentioned earlier, what you see isn't always what you get with certain people. And it's funny because the whole time you were talking, I was thinking about back when we met. We met not so much on like social media at all. We met pretty much just talking on the phone. without seeing what each other looked
Yeah, so
like.
essentially
And
our
then
story,
finally met face
long
to
story
face.
short, is we used to work for a company, and each team essentially had to work at different locations, and there was a group chat amongst all the locations, and we knew who each other were, but we didn't see each other in real life, maybe like once a year for a holiday party, if that. But that's pretty much how our story became to be and stuff. Like
Yeah, but I never went on the group chat because I hated that chat.
same here. I never
would
really
just call you.
I never cared for it either and stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty much how our story started too. Is basically we just worked with each other in the company and didn't really communicate in real life because our locations were so dispersed out here. But yeah, it's kind of funny how, you know, like I said, it just comes full circle. Get it? Circle? Yeah. Comes full circle where things that they try to portray actually happen in real life. So I do recommend it for people that do want to know, like, you know, how the actual social interactions.
And even with all the different contestants, you might see yourself in one of the contestants.
True. There are a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and they each have their own system of how they're going to try to win the game. So they have different personalities. They do different tactics. You know, like I said, they can try to do the nice person. They can try to do the good person. They can try to do whatever they want. So, you know, when you're doing live videos, it's gonna happen and everything. So until then, people, if you guys have any questions on how you guys want to know about it, about the circle, go ahead and drop a comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you guys have any suggestions on what we want to see, tell your friends, tell your grandmother, your cousins, your aunt.
I'm not sure they'll tell their grandmothers.
You know,
most grandmothers, I don't know about your grandmother, but my grandmother.
My grandparents are all dead now, so I mean, like, I can't really tell them. But you can tell, you know,
I'm still surprised that mine
your cousins.
text messages.
Yeah. Well, you know, first of all, you gotta teach people how to do stuff, but
that's true.
That's true. But until then, people, don't forget to geek out, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Have fun.